In this concise review, you will explore the inner workings of a top-tier business education. Have you ever been curious about what it's like to attend one of the world's leading business schools? Philip Delves Broughton, a journalist, embarked on his MBA journey at Harvard Business School in 2004 with little knowledge of what awaited him. Over 2 years, he delved into an intense and prestigious environment that both challenged and inspired him. This concise summary provides insights into his experiences within the Harvard MBA program, shedding light on how it molds the business leaders of the future. From demanding case studies to complex accounting challenges, unconventional exercises, and fierce competition, you'll gain a fresh perspective on the path to becoming proficient in the world of business. The basics of business. When Philip Delves Broughton applied for his MBA program at Harvard, he was living in Paris with his wife and daughter, working as a correspondent for the Daily Telegraph. His passion had never been in business, but there was something intriguing about the prestigious Harvard Business School, HBS, that drew him in. The school's website promised to impart leadership, passion, and a moral compass to its students. Upon acceptance into the program, Broughton found himself on a secluded, elite campus separate from the rest of Harvard. The facilities on the campus resembled a luxury resort, and Broughton quickly grasped the meaning of the HBS bubble. In the following months, Broughton delved into the subjects taught at HBS. The first year's curriculum covered finance, marketing, operations, and more. During the second year, students had the flexibility to choose their focus. HBS primarily emphasizes case studies in its teaching approach. For instance, in his accounting class, students were presented with the case of a feudal landlord seeking to determine the most successful peasant farmer. The case aimed to highlight the challenge of deciphering economic truths. Broughton soon realized that he was one of the few individuals with no prior business experience. While many students came from managerial, accounting, or entrepreneurial backgrounds, Broughton had never even used Excel. Nevertheless, he believed that this high-pressure Ivy League experience could lead him in a new direction. So, he joined a study group with students from diverse backgrounds to prepare for the case studies. In marketing, they analyzed Black & Decker's decline and its unpopular DeWalt tool line. The professor stressed the importance of understanding customers' needs, not just the company's capabilities. In finance, a lumber company called Butler Lumber constantly needed more credit as it expanded. Mismanaging cash flow was its significant mistake. Broughton realized that he had made the same error in his undergraduate years. In accounting, the professor aimed to help them pursue economic truth, even when it was challenging to discern. The mantra for this pursuit was assets equals liabilities plus equity. In technology and operations management, they dissected Benihana's innovative restaurant model. The detailed case studies instilled in him the belief that he could walk into any business and re-engineer it for greater profitability. By the end of the semester, Broughton's confidence had grown, and he discovered that older HBS students referred to this overconfidence as Beginahana. Broughton found that preparing all his case studies took much longer than expected, despite the administration's advice that students should anticipate only about 60 hours of work per week. He discovered the hours to be even longer. Gradually, Broughton began to grasp business terms and concepts that had previously seemed entirely elusive. One of his most significant lessons was recognizing the importance of risk. He understood that in business, risk is of paramount importance. This includes the risk of something negative happening and the risk of something positive not happening. Advanced MBA students often evaluated everything in terms of opportunity cost, the risk of missing out on something good. Moreover, Broughton learned that assessing risk was nearly impossible. Many business measures turned out to be more art than science. In accounting, for example, complex rules and subjective interpretations obscured economic reality. Companies frequently engaged in what he referred to as the numbers game, adjusting their earnings to appear more profitable than they actually were. A lesson in entrepreneurship. In his second year at Harvard Business School, HBS, the elective curriculum commenced, sparking numerous debates about strategy for ranking classes and securing top choices using the computerized course registration system. Fortunately, Broughton was assigned most of the courses he desired. In the strategy class, Professor Felix Oberholzer G stressed the importance of companies relying on competitive advantage rather than solely operational efficiency. Establishing sound contracts with suppliers was essential, and outright ownership could often become a burden. During his negotiations class, Broughton learned about critical concepts such as BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement, and ZOPA, zone of possible agreement. He also discovered that there were three types of negotiators: poker players, idealists, and pragmatists. Among Broughton's favorite courses were entrepreneurial marketing and dynamic markets. While trading stocks and derivatives in dynamic markets, he gained insights into arbitrage and risk valuation, which he began applying to his own life. He realized that even a slight 0.01% risk of his son's babysitter being a kidnapper could lead to immeasurable loss. In the entrepreneurial marketing course, the professor emphasized the relentless pursuit of customers and partners as vital for startups. Encouraged by this, Broughton and his best friend Bo decided to venture into entrepreneurship by starting a podcast company, hoping to capitalize on the digital media boom. However, they soon learned that implementation outweighed ideas. Their meetings with venture capitalists followed a pattern of initial excitement followed by waning interest. Eventually, they recognized that their startup could never compete effectively. As time went on, Broughton became increasingly concerned with the values and morals instilled by HBS. He engaged in heated debates with classmates regarding the ethical aspects of doing business. For instance, it was common knowledge that jobs in private equity and hedge funds offered substantial salaries, but Broughton saw that these roles could diminish a company's social responsibility and contribute to the destruction of communities. Some of his fellow students' behavior troubled him as well. He learned that a few had bought BMWs prior to entering HBS to reduce their assets and increase their eligibility for financial aid. Despite his good grades, Broughton began to question whether he could pursue business on his own terms rather than conforming to the corporate MBA mold. As graduation approached, the intensive job hunt began. Broughton soon realized that he lacked the consulting and banking experience most companies sought. He was perplexed that every company recruiting on campus expected unlimited passion, devotion, and loyalty from their future employees, which made them seem almost cult-like. After several unsuccessful job applications, Broughton felt he had wasted his MBA and questioned why he couldn't become a profit-driven, amoral businessperson, as HBS seemed to train its students. Many of his classmates entered careers in consulting and banking around the world, but at graduation, Broughton couldn't help but wonder, how much is enough? One of the graduation speakers encouraged them to focus on growth rather than careers. Broughton decided not to commit to unfulfilling work and chose to focus on his writing and his family, utilizing his MBA on his own terms. 2 years after graduating, the global financial crisis wreaked havoc on the economy, and numerous key figures responsible for the financial turmoil were HBS alumni. This raised questions about what Harvard had taught them. Looking back on his journey, Broughton felt satisfied with the knowledge he had acquired but couldn't help but ponder whether the world truly needed HBS leadership everywhere. Final summary journalist Philip Delves Broughton ventured into the prestigious Harvard MBA program in 2004, seeking to gain insights into the world of business. However, his experience within the Harvard Business School, HBS, revealed a high-pressure environment marked by intense competition and insecurity, even among accomplished students. Within the confines of the HBS bubble, the program shapes future consultants, bankers, and corporate leaders through a curriculum focused on case studies, rigorous networking, and fierce competition. Broughton concluded his journey disheartened by the program's overwhelming emphasis on status and financial success, raising questions about whether HBS instilled the values necessary for effective leadership in the contemporary world. Ultimately, he made a commitment to forge his own path, striking a balance between his professional aspirations and personal fulfillment. Thank you for embarking on this journey of knowledge and inspiration with us. If you found value in our insights and seek more wisdom from the world's most impactful books, consider supporting our channel. Please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to one of the finest book summary channels on the web. By doing so, you'll stay tuned for a continuous stream of uplifting, thought-provoking summaries that propel you into action. Let's embark on this quest for growth and enlightenment together. Happy reading, learning, and growing!